Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 4, titled The Key. And wow, Fear the Walking Dead, I don't know what's going on this season, but it's been on a roll. And once again, we have a really good episode in Season 6. Very excited to talk about this episode. If you haven't seen it, spoiler warning, but if you have seen it, definitely let me know what you think about it. And for those who haven't seen it, be sure to come back to the video after you've seen it and let me know what you thought. But other than that, let's get into it. So this episode focused on John, Dory, and yeah, absolutely love this episode. Garrett Dillahunt, who plays John, wow, what a performance by him in this episode. They finally, I think, are doing a really good job using him. He's been a really interesting character ever since he started, but this might have been his best episode. I loved how we actually saw him being a cop and doing cop stuff and investigating, and that was really cool because that was like I love that because we don't usually see that with people on The Walking Dead, where they use their past occupation for the zombie apocalypse. Like we see that a lot with doctors and stuff like that who are in the zombie apocalypse, but not really for anything else. So it was really cool seeing John do that. And I actually did like the little dental problem. Well, I don't know if I would call it little dental problem. That was a pretty bad one for John. But I liked how they added that for the character. And because we don't really see people have dental issues in the zombie apocalypse, which doesn't really make sense because if anything, I feel like maybe they should have it more because there's no dentist or anything like that. I know it's not like a big deal, but just little stuff like that. And also last season with the oil that Fear the Walking Dead added and how they were looking for oil. I like little stuff like that because it just makes it more real. I love the opening sequence with John and the voiceover, and it really I love the Western theme to it. And Lawton is really interesting because people have like actual jobs and actual shifts. It's really interesting, and I mean the community is definitely mysterious as well. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but yeah, I think they did a really great job making this town because it really reminds me of like Western movies. I don't know, just a little detail was like that guy who was sitting watching over the jail cells and he was like reading a book. You know, like you see that a lot in Western movies. So they really did a good job, I thought, creating this Western town. So we saw that somebody ended up killing Cameron, and that was the death that he was investigating. I thought he would have been investigating Sanjay's death, which because Strand was the one who killed Sanjay, and I thought that would have been the case because they would have figured out that maybe he got stabbed or something, but I guess not. It was Cameron's death. And I love the mystery aspect of the episode, that's for sure. And that's what, with these episodes, I think the anthology thing is really working for the show. I really do. And it's interesting because a lot of times when the characters are split up, it doesn't work. But for some reason, what they're doing this season is really working. And that's because I think each episode stands so well on their own. Like, I feel like you can watch, especially this episode and the first episode, like you could watch these episodes on their own. And they're just entertaining. Like this has such a huge mystery aspect to it, with the episode and who killed Cameron and stuff like that, but also with the season in general. And you know, like I'm very interested to see what is really going on with Virginia's group because she said that they're gonna expand or they have other communities, and that's obviously the case because everyone is split up. But I think they're doing a great job setting up these episodes and making us curious, and they're showing. You know, they're not showing too much, they're not showing too little, but just enough to have us interested. Also with the keys, that's like a big part of the episode, and I mean a big part of the season because we saw those two guys that we saw at the end of episode 1, and they Morgan killed them, which was quite surprising because I thought they would have kept them around longer, especially since they had their own scene at the end of episode 1 where they spray painted the end is the beginning. So I thought they would have had a bigger role. I don't know if it was the same guys who spray painted the end is the beginning where, remember Althea and Dwight were, they also saw that. So I don't know if those are the same two guys. But maybe it's a whole community of people. I don't know. Maybe this has to do with the mask people. I don't know. But that was interesting because I did think they were going to have a bigger role. Morgan was pretty badass in this episode, I thought, with his axe when he fought those two guys. Now with the CGI for one of the guys when he stabbed him in the stomach, the CGI was really off. I just have to point that out. I'm sorry, but other than that, I thought it was great. Also, a fun little fact is that this episode was directed by Ron Underwood, who actually directed Tremors back in 1990. And that is actually a pretty popular movie and a pretty good movie also. So I kind of found that interesting that he directed this episode. And then going back to the whole Cameron mystery thing, so I'm guessing it was Strand who ended up killing Cameron, right? Now, this wasn't confirmed. They didn't like outright say it. They just sort of hinted at it. But yeah, Strand, what's the deal with him this season? I mean, I do like this change. Like he's definitely an interesting character this season. I really like that. But yeah, he's doing some unlikable things. But I think he's doing something that's working towards them escaping Virginia and Lawton. He's definitely making some interesting choices. But again, I personally like it because it just makes the character more interesting. So we saw Janie die, which was really sad. It was even sadder because she didn't even deserve it. And I like that scene when she was talking to John and just talking about how she was lonely and Cameron was lonely and they got together. And what happened with both of them was just super sad after that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what Strand is planning, but hopefully it's something that's gonna. I mean, I don't even like. I don't know, because I feel like there could be other ways to do it other than killing people, but we'll see. And then going back to what I said earlier, I want to talk a little bit more about that. Was Garrett Dillahunt had such a great performance in this episode. I mean, wow. I think I don't know, there's something up with the writing this season, which is kind of amazing. Really good writing. I mean, that scene with Jacob and John, that was such a great and powerful scene. And yeah, Garrett Dillahunt was amazing in this episode, I thought. And then at the end there, we saw June come back, which was great. But yeah, I want to talk about that and what Virginia is doing, because it seems like she's doing nice stuff, but obviously she's hiding stuff also. I mean, we saw them reunite. John was quite shocked, so he didn't really have much of a reaction. So hopefully we'll see more of that soon. But yeah, I want to go back to the Virginia thing, because obviously she's hiding something, but it seems like she's doing good things for people who help her. And that's why it kind of reminds me a little bit of Negan and how Negan would help, or Negan would treat some of his people really well and some of his people not so well. Like, she wants to keep everyone safe, but there's like this whole other I don't know what you want to call it, like I guess a club of those people who have the keys, and John got one also there at the end, I think. And Strand has one, so maybe that's what Strand's plan was, is to get like everybody in their group a key. And in order to doing that, he has to cause issues and have his people solve them or something like that. Now, I think that this show is doing a great job building up this key thing. I don't know what this leads into. I don't know what those people get. I'm interested in seeing if it's like another community as a whole. Like, what if it's like a whole other place that only people with keys can go into? Like, we know people with keys have certain privileges, like we saw Strand going inside of the armory, but I feel like there's gonna be more than just that. So you guys let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about that, and what do you think those keys mean? But yeah, that was the episode we got for Fear, and overall really great episode. One of my favorites of the season so far, and I'm definitely interested in hearing your guys' thoughts and opinions about it. Let me know, what do you think? I'm very excited for the future of this show because things are looking pretty good. But I'm going to wrap it up there. Again, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like rating. And for more Walking Dead videos, just be sure to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, everybody. Please stay safe, and I'll see you guys soon.